Welcome back to our YouTube channel, guys. My name's Ardil and I'm really proud to introduce another one of our videos. Today's video is another start off of behind the sound on a Nissan GTR. However, this one's got a bit of a twist. Car already has a sound system, so why is it in with us and what's about to happen? So these videos are going to be showcasing exactly what goes on behind the scenes on any install. So it's not just new installs that we do, we also do some rectification work. That's exactly what we're doing. So I'm going to be talking around what's been done to the car, some of the issues that we're facing, and also how we're going to resolve that and get the system back to how it should be with the level of equipment that's actually installed into the vehicle. So if you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button. Also share this video if you are liking it, but also comment below if you want to see anything else on the YouTube channel. But these behind the sound videos are showcasing a little bit more about what goes on. So let's take a look. Obviously, the car is absolutely stunning, loads of carbon bits which we really like, but also JM Imports have also done a hell of a lot of work getting this car prepped and ready to the mechanical side of it and the engine work to getting it to where it is today. However, customer had the sound system done and basically it came into us with no sound. So it was done a while ago as the actual install. However, we're facing a couple of issues here. So first thing was, the main thing was there was no actual sound for the vehicle. So what was actually involved, customer reached out to us. Obviously, generally speaking, we only do new installs. However, the rectification side of it is obviously part of our work as well. So we had to strip the car down. So Josh stripped the car down and we actually started identifying a couple of issues with the actual install. The level of equipment that was in there was actually all stuff that we would generally use anyway, in terms of it was Alderson and Hertz, in terms of the equipment. However, just the way the install looked to have been done, but also kind of just how feeds were picked up and basic things upon the install that were letting the actual system down has caused the issue to kind of fail. So just inside here, we'll talk a little bit inside the door actually. So initially, obviously, it's very hard to quote for these sorts of things, obviously, mostly because until we kind of strip it all the way back, it's really hard to actually work out exactly what the issue is. But I'm going to talk to you first of all a little bit about the door. So inside here we had the Hertz Melee Pro speaker, a really nice component. So they had it in a plastic baffle, so these will be either still be used but also potentially changed over. It's little things on an install that make a difference and make a system kind of what it is and how it sounds. So you can use as good as components as you want. Like in this system, we've got really nice components. However, the install side of things has actually let the system down. So inside here, obviously, as you can see, there's quite a lot of this black sticky stuff basically that's being used to hold the cover onto the door. Obviously, this is pretty much as the door has come off. So as you can see here, we've got some of the skin soundproofing inside the back of the door. However, so many areas on the actual back of the door here aren't covered, aren't acoustically soundproofed. We also had the crossover. So a crossover basically in essence sits in between a tweeter and a 6.5-inch driver, for instance, and it splits frequency. So what it does, if you're not running what's called a fully active system, you can run a passive system, and generally you'll find these on an install. You'll find that signal goes in and then this splits frequencies between the tweeters and the actual driver in the door. Ideally, whenever we're running a system, we want to run fully active because it gives us a hell of a lot more control over the system when we're using a processor. There is a processor in this system from the equipment that was already installed. However, we are going to still be using that. However, because of the components, we didn't want to have to replace any components as such, and that's all a conversation we had with the customer. We're just going to be reinstalling pretty much in the same way, just properly. So this was actually secured on the other side of this with actual soundproofing, so you can see the sticky stuff from the actual soundproofing, and that was kind of just stuck there really. That's not how a crossover should be mounted, and that's all going to be rectified. So inside here, a couple of things as well. So obviously the level of cable that was used, so this is our new cable that we're adding on. So the tweeter's gone into a stock location. However, these were bullet connected before, so these are now soldered and then taped, and then this, what we're using is connections grade cabling. Obviously what was used before was kind of cheaper cabling that didn't kind of fit with the level of components that was being installed. So not only are we dealing with issues actually on the install neatness, but also actual cable issues as well. So that's all being replaced. So in essence, what we're going to be doing, we've had a look over the car. What it basically needs is to be fully removed from the vehicle and kind of reinstalled with fresh new cables and with obviously professionally done. The amount of black stuff that's basically in here is quite incredible. Obviously on an install, you've seen some of the other behind the sound videos that we've done. This is not how an install should be. So obviously cosmetically, yeah, it looked great. I mean, like this was obviously a part that they've done. This looks great. It's in a stock location. The door looked absolutely brilliant when it was finished. The door card hid all of this work. And that was kind of the issue. Whenever you're having anything done, you've got to be looking at what goes on behind the scenes, behind what physically you can see. And that's why these videos are so important, to highlight these sorts of things to you guys, that you know exactly what you're getting into. But in essence, that's a little bit of the door. We found that also there was basically 2 amps, one amp underneath the seat, which was a Hertz amp, and then we had the processor kind of stuck on top of that. Then we had the Audison Voce amplifier in the boot, which we'll go through in a minute. The rest of the car is pretty much soundproofed. In terms of how the soundproofing is being done, it's using a Skins 3mm layer, which is the same product we would use. It is pretty much all covered, definitely give it that. However, the way it's been done isn't the neatest, and that's also, it doesn't make too much of a difference acoustically, but again, behind the scenes, the level of care, level of attention to detail that goes on when you're actually doing any system or any bit of work in any walk of life, obviously neatness and things like that behind the scenes shows a level of care going into a system. And generally speaking, electrical components can cause issues with vehicles. We know that. We've seen lots of bad installs in the past. However, it's one of those things, this time to get this one rectified and get it all up and running. So system had a Bose system from stock, then got upgraded with the equipment. So I mean, the level of equipment obviously is incredible. We've got 2 Hertz Mille Pro 12-inch subs. They were fitted on either sides in custom boxes. Then we're running a 5.1K, which is an Audison Voce amplifier. So this is a really nice bit of kit here. So that was actually mounted kind of in the boot area on display, and then we had a configuration like this, so the Hertz amp and then the Audison Pit 10D processor, and literally it was stuck on like that onto there. So what we're going to be doing is basically not only removing everything, refitting everything, but redesigning the system in terms of the layout of equipment. Obviously mounting products like this underneath the seat, when there's plenty of room in the boot, customers happy for it to be on display. Obviously there's sticky stuff and residue all over this, so what we're going to have to do is basically clean that back. So we're going to spray that black actually, and then actually mount that in the boot as part of a new build. Reason for that is just basically cosmetics, making it look nice, but also making the vehicle a little bit more serviceable later on. Obviously at this current stage in the project, obviously this might change completely. We might have to replace products due to the way the install was done, and could have caused problems with the install and the products. However, what we're doing is we're hoping at the moment, obviously all these products are working as they are. They're going to go into the vehicle as they should, and we're just going to make it a bit more serviceable. Rather than having stuff underneath the seat on this occasion, we're moving it all into the boot area, allowing for a lot more accessibility to the actual products, just because we don't know after the install. Obviously, because we're not changing products, we're not doing that sort of rectification work at this moment in time. Obviously, we don't know how long these products are going to last. They could have had damage caused to them due to the way the install was done, how the setup was done. However, we're not going to know that kind of until we're all done and we've actually tested it, embedded in the system. So that's the reason why we're making it all serviceable now, to kind of future-proof the system a little bit more. The other thing that we're doing is the way the actual LED lights were actually installed into the boot, again, weren't in a safe manner, and that's all going to change now. So we've got LED lights going here. We're going to have across the back piece, we're going to have the amplification stage. So in essence, across there, you're going to have the 5.1K, you're going to have the processor, and you're going to have the Hertz amp all nicely displayed there. And then obviously new cables run for everything. So there's going to be connections grade cabling ran for absolutely everything. We're going to be doing a full digital sound processor and a setup on it. So overall, we're going to get there. We're going to get our customer sound. But these videos are all about showcasing what goes on behind the scenes. And this is a prime example of something that we've had in that obviously we need to get working. We want to get the customer up and running with music, and obviously there's decent equipment there. We've got a lovely car, however no sound, and we're going to change that. So hopefully you're enjoying the video. Today is just an initial stage, just basically to showcase where we're up to so far. Cars come into us, what we're going to be up to, but make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel so you don't miss any future videos, and there'll be plenty more on this particular car, showcasing basically exactly what we're doing and how we're going to do and get up to the finished product with sound on the vehicle as well. So hopefully the customer is obviously going to be over the moon when it is all done, when it's all set up properly, and it's probably going to sound better than it ever has done, not only because of new cabling but also the DSP setup that we're going to be running on the system. I'll be spending time tuning the system, getting it exactly how we want it for the customer. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video, guys. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel so you don't miss another one of our videos. But other than that, guys, look forward to seeing you on the next one. See you later.